All right. Hey, hello, hello, hello. Get my paint brushes a little organized here. Working on some projects for my art sisters coming up this next month in December. Can you see this one right here? It's going to be really fun. That one we're doing. And, just something that's a no-brainer I don't want to say a no-brainer, but it's just fun and relaxing is this cute little snowman we're going to do. And then I'm working on, as soon as I get through with this meeting today, I'm going to be working on this project. It's going to be a collage with this paper. So that's what I'll be working on coming up pretty soon here. How are you doing? I am busy working on my art journal, and I want to welcome you into my studio. I'm Kathy Freeman, Kathy Freeman Art, KathyFreemanArt.com, and RealPositiveChange.com. Why do I call it RealPositiveChange.com? Because, anything we're trying to accomplish is a change. We're usually trying to make a change, whether it's whatever goal, whatever we're trying to do. And so I named my company Real Positive Change is because as we go along that path of making those changes, we want them to be positive and just real. They'll stick with us. They'll be something that we actually stick with. And so that's where that name originated from. And my website is realpositivechange.com. You can find me there very easily. And I work a lot with helping individuals that are, just working along in their things, but they just seem to have a little bit of a hang up and they're not sure how to perceive it, what to think about it, and need a little bit of mindset work to make some of those changes. Which leads me into this art, because I love art as a way as self-expression, and it's also a great tool for just really kind of getting our minds to reset. And we get so bogged down with certain things that this is a great way to make some changes. All right, so I'm going to get started with some of this art here. Welcome. We've got some here visiting with us. Go ahead and say hi. Put your name in the comments, and I can see that and say hello back to you. Let me go ahead and enlarge this particular, make myself really small, and come over here. And let's get started in the art journal today. Some of the things we've done in the past. Let's see this one. And where is was this last week's? Oh, this one was so fun. I loved doing this one. I created this tree. It was from an actual tree that I saw one day right in my driving, and then added some of the statements to go with that. I haven't chosen my statement today, so I'll be doing that probably in the middle of this. And but I want to go ahead and get my page ready for it. So the question is, do you always have to have your statement, your affirmation, what you're going to put in your journal before you start your art? And no, not necessarily. It doesn't matter which one comes first. It's just which one do you want to use? Let's see how I want to place this. I think I want to place this like so. And this is some paper towel that I had put some stain in that on it and made this wonderful textures, beautiful, beautiful textures on it. Let's go ahead and put that there. I'm going to use this side here. I want to ask some questions for you. Do you have a place that you journal in? I have several journals, some that I like to write in, little things that I hear someone say. I'll take my journal to church, and if I hear something that I want to hold on to and remember, then I'll write that in there. And I also have this journal, these journals here, where I place in here all kinds of great statements and quotes and things that are uplifting. Let's see here as we pull this down. We're going to collage first. I don't have anything particular in mind. I just saw what I had on my table that I was working with and thought, I think I'd like to use that. And you can very easily use the acrylic medium to put this on with. I'm just happened to use some glue. Look at this wonderful edge here. I love the regularity of it, and it's hanging off a little bit, so I'll end up cutting that. Probably even tear it right now. Well, we'll cut it. It'll be so much easier to do. I'm going to take this one and let's glue it onto the other side. What kind of projects have you been working on? Everybody's getting all their Christmas things out, getting ready to do the Christmas art. Okay, sticky fingers. Yes, this would probably be a lot easier if I'd used the acrylic medium. I came rushing from an appointment that my husband and I had. So it's taking me a few minutes to kind of get my brain kicked in here. So what is it that I want to create? I'll lift this up if I can and reset it down. Let's replace that. Okay, pull this over. Look at all that texture that's on those. Isn't that beautiful? Cut that. I'll let it dry a little bit before I use my scissors. Get that glue on there. Let's go ahead and watercolor. And fill in the rest of the space with that. And I'm going to keep this really simple today. And the reason being is when we're doing something like this, I think, hold on, excuse me. My mind thinks to itself, well, if that's not complicated, then it's not really worth doing. I don't know if that's the exact thought or not, but it's like I complicate things sometimes, and it doesn't need to be. And so today's not going to be a complicated day. Today's going to be just a fun, relaxing day. I'm going to lift this up this way. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to mix with this brown and this blue and green. There we go. Let's grab another color. And place that down. Let's go with this favorite green, which is that apple green. let it just kind of flow itself down. Rip this. So I have it on both sides and I'm not having to sit and hold it. Oh, so much easier. So much easier. Just put a wash over it. Play with our watercolors today. And this is very thin paper, so it's not watercolor paper, this journal. It's for mixed media, but it's really thin. So I'm going to move quickly with this. And not let it just sit in an area too long. Mm-hmm. One thing I could have done, which would have been good to do, was to glue a couple of these pages together. And that way it gives you a little more to work with there than just the one page. Okay. Clean out my brush. Let's grab this really pretty turquoise that's on my palette already. And drop this down. Can you see I'm just letting it kind of roll itself down? There we go. All right, I can see something in that. I'm going to dry it. So plug that in. What I end up seeing here is I'm always creating a mountain shape. Okay. I'm going to now cut this. What does that make you think about when you look at that? Can you see that? What does that make you think? Makes me think of I'm in a cave up in the kind of the mountains in there, looking out over some others. That's just what pops in my head. Got these little things to place. I'm going to save those. I want to play with this some more. And I've got the time to do it. So I get out my acrylic mediums. Let's use a gray. This is a watercolor. I'm going to outline these mountains. This is green. That's all I'm doing right now is just kind of redefining where these mountain ranges are. And what's happening on them. Okay, a little shadow. Get them to stand out a little bit. So if you're at work or something, you have a little book like this, you could easily create something within 15 minutes or so that doesn't need to be, a lot of times people just put down colors. You could do that. You could put down colors and hi there. Say hello. I'm glad you're here. See where you're coming from. All right. You could do that. Can you see the mountains in that? Or is that just my brain? Can you see that? You're looking through, you're standing inside and looking out over. Let's go with this green here, this color. These are acrylic pencils. Love them a lot. Once I found them. because they're creamy, they're really smooth, and you can, I want to be careful because my paper is very delicate right there. Like I said, if you just showed up, this is just a journal, a little, and the pages are not nice and thick like you would have for watercolor or something. Even if it says mixed media, I find that those pages are not that thick when you start applying water and that to them. And I'm just playing right now and shading a little bit, just kind of having some fun with this color. Concerning myself with the actual image. And as I'm playing with this, I know exactly where I'm going to put my creative reminder affirmations. I'm going to type them out and stick them right here on the sides. That'll be great for, where's that blue that I had? Here it is. This blue needs to be sharpened. Luckily, I was smart enough to put the sharpener inside the. Do you ever do that as you put your sharpener maybe someplace else and then you're like, oh, I need to sharpen this. Let's put this right here in this thing. Then you have to go hunt the sharpener down, right? Something about, okay, that is interesting how that came out. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit of that. Squiggly lines, squiggly lines are a lot of fun to just squiggle and kind of blend them. Just a little bit of this. I love how these colors are working with each other and yeah, I'm going to go right into the center here. Let that one be a little stronger. You see that? You can see it's emerging, these little mountains here. Some people love to paint flowers. I know, but for some reason, I love to just create mountains. Always loved them. I love those colors. Love what it's doing. Okay, let me see here. I'd like to find, I think that's going to be close enough to this. I'm going to incorporate this color, which is not exactly the same, but bring it over to the base of this. There we go. That's it. I'm happy with it. My little journal page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up some creative reminders, which comes from so those are affirmations. If you're new here, you don't know what I'm talking about, I always fill my books with affirmations so that I have something positive to go back and read and find. So I'm going to choose one here, but I'm not going to write it. I'm going to actually just print it out. And let's see what we've got. We go into the Creative Reminders library. You can come right along with me. I'm going to have to probably sign in here. Perfect. All right. Take you into the back way. This is the Creative Reminders library. All right. What would be a great one for today? What do you think would be a super good? This has all kinds of stuff. Discouraged or weary, needing. I put down in here, I've put what these affirmations might address. So, like this one, anxiety, overwhelm, emotional eatings, suppression, avoidance, words to release anxiety that triggers emotional eating, support goals, and addressing different emotions with biblical verses added. I'm going to go to this one. I don't know why, but 681. I always like to just kind of go with what pops in my mind and see what happens there. So I'm going to scroll down through the whole list I've got. 681. Let's just see what it is. It's always like a treasure hunt. I recognize my gifts and talents and recognize the talents of others with gratitude and kindness. I have a clear vision of self, which helps me to take precise action, which is really interesting because after I get off of this, I've got some work that I need to do that I do want to take some precise action. I feel calm and directional. With kindness and a feeling of compassion, I can give others a vision of who they are and what they can offer. Loving words such as, "You are amazing and have much to offer," sends a strong, reassuring message of hope to go for one's righteous desires. I love that one. So after I get off here in just a second and say goodbye to you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just type that up real quick, print it off, and I'll just put that on here. Now, just to give you some tips, you can put this on maybe tissue paper, print it off on tissue paper or something like that. And then when you go to glue that down, it will just sort of blend in really well. If that's not that big deal to you and you're not trying to save something like this, then just putting the paper, cutting it out and sticking it on. But that's what I'm going to do and save that particular message for my journal today. All right, my friends, I know this is a quickie and a short one, but I think I want to leave it at that. I wanted to share with you the idea that, you don't have to spend a lot of time. It doesn't have to be hours. That, I think, is a huge holdup for us. We tend to talk ourselves out of creating and doing art because we think of the complication. We let our mind think, oh, that's too exhausting, or there's a lot you got to do there before you can actually do it. I just would suggest to you to get rid of those thoughts and pull out your journal and just let yourself create a little bit today. All right. So let me get back on here and say thank you so much for joining in with me. I'm Kathy Freeman. You can find me on Kathy Freeman Art, realpositivechange.com. Either one of those. Realpositivechange.com takes you right to where you need to go. And if you're interested and you'd like to have some ideas and create art with my art sisters, then take a look at that. Or if you're just thinking, gee, I'd like to have some affirmations like that, and I'd like to be able to create journals like that, then take a look at the Real Positive Change section, and I'll explain more to you on those pages. All right, my friend, have a great day, and I will see you again back here next Tuesday, 12 o'clock Central. Till then, have a great one.